Have you ever wondered what the Geneva Convention was? Have you ever gone up to a soldier or a military service member and said, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for all you do"? Do you really know what they're sacrificing? As a prior Marine, I didn't really know too much about the Geneva Convention, and I thought it was best to boost my knowledge on it. I came to find out that it's not just military personnel that benefits, but also civilians. Today I'm going to be covering 3 main articles. We will also discuss Al-Qaeda and why they are not covered under the Geneva Convention. There are 4 treaties and 3 protocols. The first agreement provides protection for all military, medical, and personnel, and any civilian aiding the wounded. Originally signed by 12 nations, the U.S. is not one of them. The second convention extended the first convention, combatants at sea and shipwrecked sailors. This convention replaced the Hague Convention. The third convention. It was convened in 1929 and resulted in specific protections of prisoners of war. It defines humanitarian protections of prisoners of war. It is the only article of the Geneva Convention that applies in non-international conflicts. Although we have covered 3, there is yet a 4th remaining. The 4th convention reaffirms the requirements of the first 3 and provided protections for civilians during wartime. A total of 196 countries have signed the Geneva Convention and all that it entitles. Originally signed on August 22nd, 1864, in the Alabama Geneva Town Hall. 12 states originally signed, although it wasn't until later that Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States finally signed and agreed to it. More than 180 states have become parties to the 1949 convention. There are many reasons why certain countries do not agree with certain protocols in the convention. For example, some countries do not possess nuclear weapons. Therefore, the Geneva Convention portion does not apply to their country. Finally, human rights of a prisoner of war. And why does Al-Qaeda not follow the Geneva Convention? Prisoners of war requirements. They must not be confined of any or deprived of any rights. They must not be given individual privileges of any reason. They must not be held in close confinement, except in breaches of war. They must not be compelled to do military work or anything that is degrading. Why Al-Qaeda does not follow the Geneva Convention? Well, in February 2002, President Bush determined that Al-Qaeda terrorists were not considered prisoners of war under the 3rd treaty. Al-Qaeda could not be a party to the convention because it is not a state. They could not be covered by the treaty as prisoners of war because it stipulates that combatants must distinguish themselves from the civilian population, which the Taliban clearly did not. The conventions are long and complicated, but they are essentially a series of do's and don'ts to apply during conflict to protect vulnerable, defenseless individuals. Their underline can be simply stated: the human dignity of all individuals must be respected at all times. Everything possible must be done without any kind of discrimination to reduce the suffering of people who have been put out of action by sickness, wounds, or captivity, whether or not they have taken direct part in the conflict. So if you ever come up to a soldier again, hopefully you've boosted your knowledge and you know what exactly they have sacrificed or are willing to sacrifice. My bibliography is the Geneva Convention by Henry Dunant, Council of Foreign Relations, at www.cfr.org. And to end with this quotation, sometimes it is better to lose and do the right thing than to win and do the wrong thing. Tony Blair.